Hello, hello. I am in such a good mood today, guys. I am beyond ready for this episode. I am talking all about the abundance mindset, which has straight up changed my life. Again, that's thrown out there a lot. We're like, oh, this has changed my life, but like straight up changed my life. And it's helped me battle a lot of my anxious thoughts and a lot of my comparison and jealousy and all of that comes so naturally to someone who overthinks. Like, I think so many of us do. We all overthink. And I think that this new mindset, if you guys can just learn to choose it and to adopt it every single day, it's going to help so much. So it's all about the abundance mindset, okay? Abundance mindset. Let's jump in because I'm rambling. Okay, guys, I'm being so boring today. I'm being so boring. I literally am drinking a Stanley full of ice water. But we're in our hydration era, okay? I also think that is an issue. Every time I go to write a caption or like text something, I always want to say I'm in my whatever era. So like right now, yes, I'm in my podcasting while drinking a Stanley cup full of ice water era. And anytime I go to write a caption, the first caption I try to write is in my going to get a strawberry matcha at a coffee shop while I finish my master's degree era. Like, whoa, we've got to chill on the eras. But the problem is I don't want to. I love it too much. Like, I love being in my random eras. So we're in our hydration era today, okay? We're staying hydrated. I'm super excited because this is like the first summer/hot weather kind of vibe where I am really, really doing so well with drinking a healthy amount of water to the point where my skin feels amazing. It looks good. It's feeling very like dewy and like I'm usually very acne prone and it's not happening right now. It's just being very clear and I'm so excited about it. And I really think it's because of the water. I'm not going to lie to you. And I hate to break it to you. It's true. It's true that when you work out and when you drink your water and when you put good food in your body, you just feel better, which is kind of a bummer because there's no easy hack around that, guys. Like, you just got to do the thing. But that's not what we're here to talk about. I do want to talk about a couple life updates. Update number 1. I can't stop smiling. Your girl is done with her master's degree. Like, I have literally, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it for you guys. I have cried this week so much. Not because I'm overwhelmed. Like, the degree is done. But because I am struggling to even fathom the fact that I have a master's degree and it's done. Like, no one can take it away from me, you know, especially because I took a year off from the degree and really had no intention of going back to finish it. It was halfway done. And actually over halfway done. I only had a year left on the whole degree and I had decided I wasn't going to do it and, you know, got married, moved to Texas, started my career, did the things. And then all of a sudden there was just like a little bit of like a pressure from God, I'm going to say, where I just like was like, is this something you want me to do? And then there ended up being a huge scholarship that covered almost all of the costs. So I was like, okay, Jesus, I hear you. I see you over there trying to, you know, tell me that you've got me. You're going to take care of me as long as I'm doing your will. So here we go. And I'm done with it. And I'm so stinking excited. I just feel really proud of myself. So that's update number 1 for you. Update number 2, we have the most insane summer coming up with travel. And I'm so excited. I just need to share it with you. Okay. I have to tell my bestie because oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not going to say exact dates because I feel like that's risky. So we're just going to say topical time frame. Okay, so in a couple weeks, we are flying to Vancouver, Canada. I also am going to get to see one of the sweetest people I've ever met. While I'm there, she lives in Vancouver, and I just so happen to be flying into Vancouver and have enough time where we can hang out for a little bit. I'm so excited. We're going to get coffee. We actually work together at our part-time jobs, and it's just so fun. I'm so blessed by her and getting to see her, so very excited about that. And then from Vancouver, we're taking a cruise, baby, and we're cruising up to Alaska, and we're doing a whole Alaskan cruise. I could not be more excited. This is actually in celebration because I just finished my master's. Matt just commissioned as a second lieutenant in the Army, and because of that finished his bachelor's degree. This was all we were waiting on, was this commissioning. And my brother is graduating with his bachelor's degree too, okay? So all 3 of us have this like massive like milestone, academically completed, whatever. And we're going to Alaska. We're going on a little cruise. I'm so excited. It's going to be so fun and it's going to be really sweet. But then like 4 days. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. 4 days after I get back from Alaska, I'm going to try to do everything I can to rest. And then I leave for Europe, which is wild. I didn't know about this trip until literally like maybe a couple weeks ago. I get to go with my job and it's going to be amazing. We're going to, I think 4 or 5 countries. 3 or 4 of those I've never been to, which is really fun because I love marking new countries off the list. I'm actually going to hit 21 countries while I'm over there. I will have been to 21 countries after this summer's over. And we've got another really fun trip coming up next year too, which is so wild to me because I remember being a little girl and just like telling myself that I wanted to be a world traveler, but not even understanding what that looked like or what it meant to actually make that happen for myself. And it's always been a dream of mine, always to experience other countries, to experience other people groups and cultures, and to get to just see some of the most incredible things that God created or that man created throughout this entire world. And I have seen some truly just like awe-inspiring scenes, and it's wild to me that we're going to be at 21 countries after this, and then next year I'll be at over 25 countries that I'll have traveled to. And this week has been really emotional. I just like want to sit down and cry because I feel so blessed. And so I get to go with a couple of my coworkers over to Europe, hang out in a couple countries. So if you want to check out or see any of that, I will be obviously documenting as we do throughout all of my social media platforms at Belle Grub across all the things, including lemonade, because I'm obsessed with lemonade and it's so freaking fun. So, and then after that, we're going to come back to the US, and Matt and I have a little weekend. Well, I say weekend, it's actually not the weekend, but we have a little mini trip to Austin, Texas, because neither of us have been, and we're super excited about that. It's just gonna be the 2 of us. It's gonna be like a little date time, and then we move into our new house, which is wild. I'm so excited. I've never been so excited to get a notification on my phone about plumbing and pipes. The pipes are in, baby. The plumbing is in, and it's done. It's set. And so we have a meeting next week, and I'm just like, whoa, what is life? What is life right now? It's just really good. I'm in a very sweet season, and those are my updates for you guys. It's just a really, really sweet season. So now that I have monopolized your time with all those life updates, I really do want to talk about something that has allowed me to enter a new headspace when it comes to hearing the positive aspects or the blessings that someone else is experiencing. Which is funny that I just talked that long about all of the blessings that I feel, because there is a really big, crucial aspect to community when you celebrate with each other. When you choose to lift one up and celebrate the wins and celebrate all of the exciting things going on in life. And that is really, really cool when you get to celebrate each other. And not that I'm like, oh my gosh, look at me, everyone go celebrate me now. But that is a part of community, is just like lifting each other up in that way. But what happens so often, especially I found for myself, and I don't know, maybe you can or can't relate, is when I am celebrating someone outwardly, inwardly I'm comparing. I'm feeling very jealous. I'm feeling very much so like, well, why can't I do that? Or, well, why does that person get this when I've worked so hard for this and I still don't have it? And there's just this mindset that I felt very stuck in for a while of jealousy. That's truly what it was. It was just me being envious of the people around me and looking at them, and instead of being truly excited for where they were in life, feeling like I should be there or ahead of them, and I'm not. And that's pride. Ultimately, like when we look at that jealousy side of things, like, and we start to peel back the layers, it really does come down to pride and thinking that we deserve more or that we're better than we should be acting like we are, because again, we're amazing. But when you're thinking so much about how much you deserve and how much you should get in life, that's pride right there. And when it's hard for you to be around friends who are doing well or to truly celebrate them in their wins, I've noticed that it is a friendship killer. And that's truly what it is. I mean, there have been friendships that I've been in where I have killed that friendship effectively because I was unable to look past my own jealousy for what they had. I was so in the mindset of, you know what, that should be me, or I should have that. And that bitterness begins to bloom in you. And that's not a good thing. You don't want that. And it takes root to the point where it's hard to love that person or show up for that person or be a good friend to them, because the whole time all you're thinking is, really, I should have that. And I'm sure, I mean, literally, to be jealous is to be human, right? Like, we have all felt these feelings of jealousy and envy. And that's just the truth. It really is, because we compare our situations. And this comparison, I mean, oh my gosh, it's gone back for so long for all of us. And for me, comparison really, really got bad to the point where there were eating disorders and all of these toxic friendships just because I thought that's what cool people did. And I kept comparing myself to other people, especially on social media. Oh my goodness, I was comparing everything that was happening on social media. And I was like, I'm not living my life. I'm not doing enough. I'm not being enough. So now that I've really bummed you out with all of the toxic issues that come from comparison and jealousy and the way that we all struggle with it, I really am excited, because don't worry, we've got the practical tips. We've got the things to help, okay? And the first thing that we're going to talk about with this is the abundance mindset, okay? It's adjusting your mindset to understanding a different component of life. So in all of these situations, it's very much so me versus them. Where I'm at versus where they're at in life, okay? And when you have this competitive mode, it's very hard to take a step back and look at life for what it is, which is this very large, fluid blessing from God, okay? And that blessing looks different for each person. And like, trust me, when I got my StrengthsFinders test back in when I was in college, my number one strength was competition, okay? So literally, like, I get it. It is so freaking hard to stop competing with the people around you, especially because I think that to a certain degree, a little competition is healthy. A little bit of pushing yourself to be better because you see someone else doing something and you're like, wow, I could do that, is good. I think that, I was just talking about my travel. I watched other people do this and I looked at it and I said, I want to do that. How do I make that happen? And it was me pushing myself to get what I wanted out of life that ultimately led to me getting to travel and do all these things as soon as I got married, really. And it's interesting to me because as much as a little competition is good, it can quickly go downhill to the point where it's not good anymore. So what is the abundance mindset? Okay, so the abundance mindset is when you look at life not as something that there is limited supply of, but rather there is enough of everything for everyone. Okay? So let's break this down a little bit. If I was looking at someone and they are driving a fancy car, have an amazing job, and a beautiful house that's just decorated to the nines, okay? I could look at that and start comparing myself and start being jealous of everything that they have and feeling extremely entitled, ultimately, because of my pride, and thinking that I deserve that and getting really anxious in my thoughts of, why don't I have that yet? Because that's also another part of it, is it's not even just thinking that you deserve it. It's being scared that you're missing out on something you were meant to have. But when you look at their lifestyle, nothing is stopping you from achieving that in a short amount of time, or even a long amount of time. Nothing is stopping you from saving up, buying a house, loving the car that you're driving. You know what I mean? Decorating it and going to the thrift store and buying some paint and doing what you can to the home you have. So instead of looking at it as a them versus me, and if you look at it with this abundance mindset of go them, there's so much goodness in life and they have a portion of that. But guess what? There's so much more goodness accessible to me that I can have a portion of it too. And I do have a portion of it. I have all of these beautiful things. I have all of this beautiful people around me. And when you begin to take stock of the good in your life and the abundance that God has blessed you with, it no longer feels so heavy when you watch someone else have their blessings come to fruition. So for me, this is like, guys, this is just me getting so real with you. It was hard for a really long time, because I right now have been told I can't have children. And like all of my friends are pregnant right now, which I love. I love it so much. I'm so excited. I'm going to be an aunt to like so many. Oh guys, I'm planning so many baby showers right now. So many baby showers. But it also, a part of me, it's been hard. It's been hard to watch people go through a journey that there is a very high chance I will never get to experience. And it's my first reaction, I think the first natural reaction that we have in our broken world, is to look at that and let a little bit of bitterness in, a little bit of resentment, that pressure to kind of, cock your head a little bit and be like, wow, okay, I won't ever get that, but I guess go them. And kind of that like snide, sarcastic voice starts to creep into your mind, and you're just like, what did I do that was so wrong that makes it so I don't ever deserve children? And why is it so easy for everyone else to have kids? And it's just this mindset that can kind of spiral to the point where it would hurt these friendships again, and it would make it so maybe I didn't want to plan their baby showers, or I didn't want to be a part of the beautiful experience that so many are going through right now in pregnancy and then eventually childbirth and all of that stuff. But because of this mindset that I was able to adapt, I don't know, maybe like a couple months ago, it's been a while, but not like super long, I have noticed that anytime I catch myself being like, well, why can't that be me? Or that anxious thought of, well, that'll never be you. I have been able to take a step back and be like, but there is so much goodness in this world. And just because they have it doesn't mean that I can't ever access that blessing. Doesn't mean that I will never have a child. Just because my friends are having some of the best seasons of their lives does not mean that I will never experience that. Or doesn't mean that I won't experience something different, but just as powerful in my own life. Just as good for what I need. So when you stop putting up this block in your own mind that it's them or me, their good life or my good life, and you remember that everyone has access to this abundant life, it quickly changes this negative feeling that you can have towards other people. And it's really helped. It really has. I have been able to build friendships with some amazing, amazing mothers, and I don't feel any negative feelings either towards them or when I'm around them because I don't have what they have or because I've been told that I won't ever have what they have. Instead, I've been able to enjoy my role of being really good friends with their kids or, throwing the baby showers, doing all of that, and remembering that their success does not mean my lack of success. Their new family doesn't mean that I won't ever get a family. And that goes for you. Just because someone is doing something that you want does not mean that you can't do it. It does not mean that you aren't qualified to step into a similar or maybe completely different role that will be just as fulfilling for you. Because that is what the world is full of. There's so many good things in this world, so many things that you can lean into and love and have an abundant life from. that you don't need that person's life. You don't need to become who they are to have what they have. You have access to your own blessings, your own goodness. And that's really, really powerful when you begin to adjust to that and not look at everyone else as the enemy. Someone else's success does not mean your failure. Their success can be celebrated by you. And guess what? You're going to build a community around you that when you step into your success, you're going to be celebrated and showered in love. And that's just such a sweet feeling to know that you are surrounded by people who truly want to build you up, but you know that starts by building them up. You got to be that person who is there for them and confident in your place in life where you can actually go and love on them and celebrate their wins without this bitterness or resentment or jealousy fueling the voice in the back of your head. And something else that I think is very important to remember when we catch ourselves in the trap of comparison and jealousy is that you can't just pick and choose pieces of someone's life to take on. So it's very easy to look at someone's life and go, oh, man, I wish I had that. Or I wish I could do that. I wish that was me. But what you've got to remember is you've got to take on the whole of that life. All of the nitty-gritty, complicated relationships, all of the anxious thoughts and worries, all of the maybe disease or ailments that harm their body. Like, there's so many aspects to every person's life that when you only look or choose to see some of their blessings, their biggest moments, their best moments, and you say, I want that, you've got to look at the rest of it. What have they gone through to get there? What stresses or maybe disastrous situations have they survived in order to get to the place where they are now? It's not all sunshine and rainbows. It is not all positivity all the time that allowed that person to be where they are today. And when you remember that, like maybe you're in a season where it just feels like there's a storm around you, but it is refining you. It is creating you into the person who is able to carry the blessing that you would otherwise not be able to carry, because your blessing is too great, man. It is too heavy. It is so much, so soon, but you've got to push a little further and you've got to get a little stronger before you can take on such a big responsibility, such a big role, such an exciting experience. Whether that's motherhood, whether that's a new career, whether that's another degree, whatever that looks like for you, you have to go through a season of refining in order to be that person that can handle whatever's coming your way. And if you're comparing your refining season to someone's shining season, you're going to get hurt. It's not going to be pretty. But when we remember that there is so much goodness in this world and that someone else reaching their shining season before you do does not mean that you can't do the same thing. If one person buys a house and you're like, man, I really want to buy a house, just because they did it does not mean that you can't buy a house. Guess what? You are fully empowered. Someone starts a business and you're like, man, I want to start a business and I was going to, but now they are and they're doing really, really well with it. Freaking do it, man. You've got it. There's enough goodness in the world. There are 7 billion people in the world. Someone who wants to buy from that shop may come over and buy from your shop, but also guess what? Some people may want a different take on whatever idea it is, and they're going to come to you shopping because there's 7 billion people in the world. And everyone has some goodness in their life. So, yeah, I feel like this abundance mindset has just been really, really pivotal for me, and I think I'm seeing the fruit of it in this season because, again, I started practicing this, like actively choosing anytime I recognize jealousy or comparison in my life, choosing to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's all good. It is all good. Everyone's good. And when I've done that, I think that I am now able to step into this season with friends who are thriving in every aspect of life, or thriving in some aspects of their life, because let's be honest, there's still hardships. Probably a lot more when you're either pregnant or, zooming through your career or doing all the hard things. And I'm now able to celebrate with people instead of sitting back and watching with a very anxious eye of wondering if I will ever get that, or if it's too late for me, or whatever my mindset is at that moment. And it's cool. It's really, really cool when you're able to just remember that there's so much good in the world and it's not limiting. Goodness is not limited. And I want to be a place of goodness. I want to be a place where people can feel celebrated and not like they have to hide their accomplishments because they know that I'm going to be upset because they're doing so well in life. No way. No way. We're going to celebrate through every single moment, and we're going to remember that good things are coming my way, good things are coming your way, because we serve a God of abundance. We serve a God who loves us and who keeps his promises, and it's good. It's good. Okay? So I hope this episode was really encouraging. I hope you guys are feeling very much so like you're ready to enter a season of abundance and adjusting your mindset. This doesn't mean that life's about to get easy. This doesn't mean that you're about to get everything you've ever wanted, but it's simply learning to appreciate what you do have, appreciate what others have, and remembering that their success does not mean your failure. Okay? You can still chase your God-sized dreams, and you don't have to stress about missing out just because someone else got there a little faster than you. Okay, I hope you all have a great week. I can't wait to chat next week. We've got so many fun conversations coming up. So many good guests. Oh my gosh, you guys are going to freak when you hear about some of these people that are coming on the pod. It's going to be really, really fun, and I love you all so much.